If you're one of the 6 people watching this who actually have a PlayStation 5, then you may be thrilled to know that there's finally something worth a shit to be played on it outside of Demon's Souls. That game is Returnal, developed by Housemarque, who did such games as Super Stardust and Resogun, which is a game I particularly enjoy. Now, I'm portman-totally into wordplay, so Returnal is already getting points for a good name. It's a good, strong name. But it turns out that Returnal is more than just a country-strong moniker, it's also a pretty good game. Now, I'm a lover of a certain type of roguelite. I don't enjoy them all, but there are many that I do enjoy. Children of Morta, Binding of Isaac, Hades, of course, one of the best games I've ever played. And those games that feature permadeath and randomized environments, they tend to be on the small scale. In terms of budget and position in the market, they're usually indie games. They not always, but often have the old retro graphics going on. So the idea of a roguelite with more of a, dare I say, AAA flavour is at least intriguing. I'd heard it was hard, I'd heard you died a lot. That's just, I mean, that's roguelites for you, so that wasn't too intimidating for me, and it is pretty challenging. It's tough. I've gotten as far as the second boss, so, you know, this is more of an early impressions. I'm not mega far in. That second boss is I'm not too fond of the bosses, mostly because I find them boring, but we will get to that. Let's talk a little bit more about how the game plays. So like I said, it's a roguelite. It's got a lot of those trappings, the permanent death, progress lost, randomized map layouts, using templates, of course. Now, it must be said that one major issue with Returnal is the fact that there's no saving of progress during a run. Plus, the game has had some crashes reported. It has crashed on me once. It ruined a run. Housemarque doesn't seem all that interested in addressing this, just saying, I'll put the console in rest mode. No, there's no need. As a result, when I start a run, I am in it for the long haul. I realise that I am going to have to do this from start to finish, otherwise, I mean, I've got me ADHD memory issues. I'll forget that I've got it paused and put on a different game and then immediately go, oh fuck, oh shit, oh nadgers, and realise that I've screwed something up, so I've just got to sit there and concentrate on it. And luckily, the game is at least absorbing enough that I haven't noticed the time go by. I've not felt like I'm forced to stay there against my will per se. Before I realised how screwy the lack of a save feature was, I was willingly there. I was compelled to keep playing because of the game itself, not because of fear I'd lose the run. And it sucks I have to get sidetracked to talk about that, but I do feel it's worth front-loading, prefacing a lot of this, the following video with that, so that people know. Of course, there is some weird little contingent of capital H, capital G hardcore gamers who are making this about difficulty again and challenge and get good. It's not about that. It's about games respecting your bloody time. Anyway, Returnal is a good game. Like I said, it's a roguelite, but it's also a bullet hell shoot 'em up, essentially, that takes place in a fancy graphics, dare I say, environment. You play as Ann Person, who was woken up after Ann Crash. You are on a weird, spooky planet. It's very scary. It's full of tentacled monsters that shoot lots and lots and lots and lots of bullets at you. You fight through, trying to uncover why you're there, why you keep respawning, because that's part of the story. During each run, you go through room to room. Some rooms have monsters in, some are reward rooms. There are weapons that you can pick up throughout each run. You start with a little sidearm, which is fine enough. You can defend yourself with it, and you can get upgraded versions of that, but there are other weapons with their own upgrades, such as like a more of an assault rifle or a shotgun or something that throws electrical pylons at stuff and traps them in big red electric. You can, if you like risk and reward, attach parasites to yourself. If you find parasites, you can let them pop themselves on you for both a positive trait, some sort of buff, some sort of enhancement, and a negative trait. For example, One might simply give you a boost to your overall health, but come with a downgrade that makes like the currency, the in-game currency, the Oberlites, it might make them disappear off the ground quicker, which sucks because they barely stay on the ground at bloody all. Those Oberlites can be spent on items and upgrades. There are augments that latch onto yourself, and they just provide various boosts like increased firepower or increased weapon proficiency being something that upgrades future weapons, makes them better. And there are some bits of equipment, some shortcut-y type things that allow you to get through each run a bit quicker, that unlock and stay permanently unlocked. Otherwise, you lose your progress, you lose your items and acquisitions. You know, if you've played something like The Binding of Isaac, Children of Morta, Hades, then you know the deal here. And like I said, it's fairly challenging. The sheer volume of bullets being thrown at you at times can be just as hectic and have just as much pressure as any bullet hell game. Some of the bigger, tougher enemies are an absolute nightmare to fight. Most of them have at least one attack that can just hit really hard and really fast, so you've got to be on the ball, got to be always moving. It's not a game you want to play if you want to chill out. It's a high-stress environment. The enemies have really cool attacks, like the bullet patterns and everything again, it reminds me of many shmups, many sort of vertical or top-down shooters. I've been playing a lot of those recently, actually. I've got a little handheld with a lot of games on it, all perfectly legal, of course, and it's got a whole bunch of arcade games on it, and like Darius and all of that kind of stuff. Very much been enjoying that. So it was actually quite timely that this game came out, that Returnal came out. I'm kind of in that mood, in that mindset, so I have had a lot of fun with this. Like I said, the bullet patterns and everything are cool. The monsters themselves, the enemies, I just find like vaguely animal-shaped blobs of tentacles and not that inspiring visually. And once you start seeing the more humanoid enemies, the fact that they're just a bit splodgy looking without proper faces it's basically just their designs I've seen many times in games before, and I crave something new. Not just shapes and splodges. Makes me think of that Prey game, which the mimics were cool, but everything else was just splodge. And of the bosses I've fought so far, like I said, I find those a bit dull, because it's just a war of attrition. The bullet patterns they have are, again, challenging enough, but their health bars are so long. They've got a really long health bar, and then another one and another one. And halfway through, I want to be done. Because I get to a point where it's like, okay, boss, I have seen you, boss. You have shown off a lot, boss. Can we wrap this up? Because I'd like to see the rest of the game now, and you're just kind of proving to be an arbitrary gatekeeper at this point instead of just a boss-style one. And again, it's not about the challenge. I don't find it to be particularly good or fun difficulty when enemies are just huge damage sponges, but that may very well be just me. There are a lot of so-called live services that enjoy that kind of shit, so it must be popular with someone. But otherwise, I find the combat very rewarding. The audio-visual feedback when you hit enemies is very edifying. Every different type of weapon has a different bit of feedback from its offense, and it really makes you feel like you're dealing heavy damage to enemies, even some of the more bullet spongy ones outside of the bosses. This is especially true of the alt-fire modes that these weapons have, with the triggers that are on the controller with the different resistances. If you press it down until you hit the first bit of resistance, you do normal firepower. If you squeeze it all the way down, then you do an alt-fire, which is on a fairly long cooldown, but is just devastating. That can range from a more short-range taser-style weapon to just a really long laser pointer that deals ridiculous damage, sort of mortar-style bombing attacks. There's a lot there. And the weapons themselves, as you use them and get further along, can evolve during gameplay and start taking on different forms. They attack a different way. I'm definitely looking forward to playing more of it. The story it's got some intrigue to it. It's got some mystery that's compelling me to go forward. There are almost horror elements to the game, not big scary jump scare, spooky dooky monster kind of stuff. More of a psychological, a lingering, more of an existential even horror, as this protagonist tries to work out exactly what the fuck and why the fuck. There are these occasional first-person moments that are genuinely quite creepy at times. So that's Returnal. With the safe issue, I'm not going to 100% recommend it, but if you've got a PS5 and nothing to do for a while, while playing it, it could be worth your checking out. At least, have a look at it and don't go and impulse buy things like I did. So I've got the electric weapon early. Why do these things to myself? Anyway, Returnal. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good.